Game Day with Charles Hanagriff and Jordy Culotta. Exclusively on Eagle 98.1.
From the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios here at Guarantee Media, welcome to a special edition of Saints Game Day on Eagle 98.1. I'm Charles Hanagriff, along with Jordy Culotta, Paul O'Neill, our video producer, Musso, our audio producer, and glad you're with us to kick off the 2020 season for the New Orleans Saints. Last year, the Saints went 13-3, a excruciating overtime loss to the Minnesota Vikings in the first round of the playoffs, knocked New Orleans out. And despite having the best record in the regular season in the last 3 years in the NFL, the Saints have not made the Super Bowl. This feels like, in every sense of the word, the last ride for Drew Brees and Sean Payton together. Brees, who came very close to retiring back after the 2019 season, is back for one more go at 41 years of age. And make no mistake, this team has been put around him and made moves that suggest they are pushing all their chips in for this season. They drafted to fill needs. They made some free agent signings, including Emmanuel Sanders, to shore up the weakest positions on their team. They even made a long, strong last-ditch effort for Jadeveon Clowney that came up just a little bit short. However it falls for New Orleans this season, it will be one that we remember, because it may be the end for Drew Brees. By all accounts, in a truncated training camp, Brees looks pretty good, as does this team. A few injuries that we'll get into a little bit later, Jordy. But more than anything, I feel like for the Saints, there is a sense of urgency around this club, knowing that it is, in the words of Terran Armstead, Super Bowl or bust.
Charles, you brought up the last ride. I would compare it to the last dance. We just saw the documentary Own the Offseason and COVID-19 pandemic, where there was no sports and everybody had their eyes peeled to the last run of the Chicago Bulls. This very much feels like that when you talk about this New Orleans Saints team heading into 2020. They add a third receiver in Emmanuel Sanders. They bring back possibly the best wide receiver in the league off of his big contract extension. They also ink Alvin Kamara over the weekend. You add another dynamic player like Jared Cook as a weapon for Drew Brees on offense, and the Saints have told everybody they are going in. Brees had a media availability earlier this week, and he said it. I'm playing on borrowed time, and I'm going all in. And then you look at, the counterpart today, and it kind of feels the same. But the Saints in 2020 feel like that they are all in. It has a last dance feel to it, where we've seen Brees and Peyton since 2006, and this could be the end of it.
The Bucs went 7-9 a season ago, though that could hardly matter less, because this Tampa team does not, on offense, in any way resemble the group from a year ago. Tom Brady, the New England legend and six-time Super Bowl winner, takes over at quarterback, and man, does it look really bizarre to see him in anything other than Patriots gear standing next to a hoodied Bill Belichick. But it's Bruce Arians that is calling the shots here. Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski among the changes that they've made. And it's difficult, I think, maybe for some to remember what the Bucs were a year ago because of the turnovers. What Tampa was last year was an excellent defensive team, the number one rush defense in the league, two dynamic receivers, maybe the best tight end room in the game right now, and a bolstered running game with the addition of Fournette. Here's a stat you need to know. Jameis Winston turned the ball over 35 times a season ago. You have to go back 5 seasons to total that number of turnovers for Tom Brady. If you even cut that number by a third, Tampa probably makes the playoffs a year ago. So if you're looking for the big plays and all that, I'm sure that will be there. Winston himself threw for over 5,000 yards a year ago. But the number that I would look at for Tampa's success, Jordy, is the turnover number. 41 total turnovers last year, 35 of them on the quarterback, 30 interceptions and 5 other fumbles. If they do nothing more than drastically reduce that number, I think Tampa's a playoff team.
Absolutely. It was what we talked about with Jameis Winston when he got under the tutelage of Bruce Arians, and now with Sean Payton. If somebody could cut down that number where you've got yourself a dynamic quarterback. When you look at this Tampa Bay team, the way that they played at the level they did, but the way that they turned it over last year was the story. You bring in Brady and you imagine that number just increasingly is cut because of the way that he plays the game and the way that he spreads it around and the weapons that he has, Charles. I mean, Brady and Breeze, what we'll have an opportunity to see today at the quarterback position, I've been trying to put into perspective in going to this afternoon's kickoff. I mean, just you look at the stats in the NFL and all time, and these guys are first and second in every category that matters. Tom Brady in a new uniform is going to look weird. I think more strange than anything is going to be the weapons that he has around him and how he uses them.
This is a game that does not lack for storylines. I'm not going to bore you with all the COVID numbers. I think you've been beat over the head with those enough at this point. But the good news is that the NFL's testing protocols have gone through well enough that there have been very, very few positive tests, and the league is able to move forward. Nevertheless, it'll be an empty Superdome today for Brady versus Breeze, the two Hall of Famers, the leading two passers in the history of the NFL, the 7 Super Bowls between them, the two 40-year-olds for the first time squaring off in an NFL game that sees two quarterbacks over the age of 40. Ordinarily, the dome would be overflowed. Instead, the attendance, we can accurately predict, will be 0.
Unbelievable.
So if you think it's going, I mean, this whole thing is strange. You're going to go into a Superdome that has nobody there to see two Hall of Fame quarterbacks play, and one of them play in a different jersey for the first time in 20 years. As another aside, Leonard Fournette, legendary high school career at St. Aug, strong career at LSU, and I would say an uneven first few years in the NFL with Jacksonville, some good, some bad. The New Orleans native playing his first game ever in the Superdome today in front of nobody. Pick the one you like. Pick which topic gets you the best.
The Fournette one is fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, outside you talk about these two quarterbacks, right? And you go down the numbers, the accomplishments, the amount of times that they've squared off going back to their Purdue, Michigan days. I mean, this thing goes back almost 3 decades when you talk about Brady and Breeze going at each other on opposite sidelines. Now you get an opportunity to see them twice a year in the regular season. It is super depressing that I can't pack my child up and go down and watch these two play inside of a packed Superdome just for the the viewing pleasure. But it is amazing to say out loud that Leonard Fournette, quite possibly the best high school football player this state has ever produced out of the city of New Orleans, has never played a game inside the Superdome, and the first time he'll do it is against the Saints in the 4th year of his professional career with Tom Brady as his quarterback. I mean, that storyline is pretty fascinating to say out loud. I'd imagine that he wanted to invite every friend and family member that he could to this event, and like you said, he'll be doing it inside of a empty Superdome. So storylines abound. I know that we'll talk to Nick Underhill next about this Brady-Breeze matchup and really kind of what it means in their 40s. But it's fascinating to just look at the numbers of the accomplishments of both of these guys, of what they have, what they have done under center in this league and at that position, and the way that they've almost kind of revolutionized it, the way that it's played, and even at this age, how the better part of their football career is behind them. Brady doesn't talk as if this is the end. I mean, it seems like this is the end for Drew. I mean, it seems like this is the victory lap. For Brady, it seems like he has more in the tank. So it'll be interesting to see these guys go at it in round 1 today.
And oh, by the way, the story came out this morning that had circumstances been just a little bit different, Tom Brady would still be making a start in the Superdome today, but it might have been for the other team. If Drew Brees had retired, the report came out this morning, Adam Schefter had this, that Brady and the Saints had mutual interest of Brady taking over for Brees.
Makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, when what Tom Brady was telling you he was looking for when he was looking for another team was a roster that had experience, a roster that had weapons, a coach that he trusted, an offensive-minded coach. I mean, all those things check the boxes with New Orleans. And, oh, by the way, him and Brady are pretty good friends, talking about Sean Payton. So you got to imagine that conversation came up. I wonder how much that meant to Drew Brees and changing his mind, because, a lot of people around the Pro Bowl last year were saying Brees is telling people he's done. He's talking about what television network he's going to be on and how they're going to move forward. And, I wonder if the rumor of Peyton talking to Brady and Brady having a chance to finish out this roster and this run with New Orleans maybe motivated Brees for another season.
Few nuts and bolts things. Leonard Fournette, we mentioned he will play. He will not start. Ronald Jones is a starter for Tampa, but we do expect to see Fournette today. We also expect to see Mike Evans, a star receiver for Tampa Bay. He's been bothered by a hamstring all week. He is expected to start, maybe a little bit limited today. The Saints will be without starter Cesar Ruiz on the offensive line. He will be replaced by Nick Easton. Marcus Davenport will also be out on the defensive side for New Orleans. They'll replace him with multiple players. We'll talk to Nick Underhill about that. And for the Saints, openers have been a problem of late. In the last 5 years, New Orleans is 1-4 on opening day. And last year, it took a 58-yard field goal by Will Lutz at the gun to get him out with a win against Houston. The year before that, it was Fitzmagic hanging 48 on the Saints in the Superdome. The year before that, it was the Raiders' 2-point conversion at the end that got Oakland out with a 1-point victory. The year before that, it was the Thursday night opener in Minnesota, which was the very short period of time that Adrian Peterson was a Saint. Going back, he was not a factor in that game, and New Orleans got thumped. And the year before that, they lost in Arizona. They'll look to turn that around today, and that's something that has frustrated Peyton a lot in the past. Is like, hey, why have you come out flat? Five straight years. Now, last year they were better, and they managed to win the game. But it took every bit. Houston was a playoff team last year. I don't want to make out like they were a monster favorite or double-digit favorite or anything like that. But they have been sluggish in openers. They'll have to be better today.
There has to be uncertainty from Peyton and his preparation around this Tampa Bay team on how they're going to respond, right? I wonder, going into the matchups as far as Peyton is concerned, how much he can really feel comfortable about his plan going in, just with the new faces and the way that they'll be running this Tampa Bay program now with Brady under center. So it will be interesting to see how they are prepared and to hear Peyton talk about it. We've got a lot of sound that we can reference throughout the next couple of hours that will be here on Eagle 98.1, getting you set up for Bucs and Saints. But to listen to Peyton get prepared for this one with just the uncertainty of a couple of guys not being in place like they've had in years past.
We'll take a break. Nick Underhill will be with us when we return. This is Saints Game Day on Eagle 98.1.
WCK Foundation Repair, locally owned and operated, has been in business over 25 years. Engineers agree WCK uses the best repair method for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. Rely on WCK to provide a solid standard with friendly local professionals. Interest-free financing available. WCK Foundation Repair.
WCK Foundation Repair. WCK, a leader among peers. WCK.
Feeling lucky? Now you can feel even safer playing at MBC. Visit Magnolia Bluffs Casino and Hotel in Natchez, where the safety of our guests is a priority and everyone is treated like a VIP. Remember,
our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Charles and Jordy are getting you set. Saints Game Day, now on Eagle 98.1. Oh, yeah.
And we welcome you back into Saints Game Day special edition here before the season opener between the Saints and Bucs. Joining us now is Nick Underhill from New Orleans Football. Nick, good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Just can't believe that the season's actually starting, but looks like we made it through this, and this thing's going to happen.
So, how would you judge the prep of the Saints? I know you haven't gotten to there hasn't been as much availability. Camp certainly has not been normal, but the lead up, you're very familiar with this group, with this personnel. How would you judge their prep going into this game?
They look pretty good to me. I think most of the questions that we probably had were on the defensive side of the ball, and I think that the secondary has been a lot better than I expected. And I thought they were going to be pretty good, but some of these other guys have really stepped up. PJ Williams moving to safety, I think that's probably where you're going to see him playing. I expect him to be back there playing deep a lot today. He's looked really good in that position, and then they got more depth there than we probably expected too. It looks like Patrick Robinson's finally the guy they thought they were getting a while ago. And, from what I've heard from some people, they just say that being around Malcolm Jenkins again has been, a really calming effect on him and has kind of helped him focus in and have some confidence, which has really been the story of his career. But, offensively, I think there's still probably a couple questions. Emmanuel Sanders started to get going, a little bit during the last 10 days of camp or so. But, without seeing that in the game, it's kind of hard to gauge where it is. But I think even if it starts slow, they'll eventually get to where they need to be. So, given the circumstances, I do think that they look about as good as you could hope, throughout the summer.
Nick Underhill joining us here on Eagle 98.1 special edition of Saints Game Day. You can catch Nick Underhill's coverage of the Saints on NewOrleans.football. You can also check out the podcast that was just put down, and wherever you subscribe and get your podcast at. You can check that out. Nick, take me back to the beginning of the weekend before we get to today's storylines. Alvin Kamara and the Saints agree to terms on a contract extension right around $14.5 million a year. What was your reaction to the number and to getting that done in game week?
Yeah, so this was basically virtually done on Wednesday, and then Alvin wanted a couple tweaks to the deal, and they went back and kind of worked on it back and forth. The overall number I think is a little bit surprising because the Saints were pretty dug in at $12.5 million, and I will be interested to see once we get the actual breakdown of the numbers that gets filed to the NFLPA, how much it's truly worth, because there's some advertising from agencies when these numbers first come out, and they're always a little bit bigger. So it's like, oh, this guy got his client this much money. But the real numbers are often quite different. So I wouldn't be surprised once we see the actual breakdown if it is more in that true 12.5, 13 range. And, the bigger numbers are backloaded and not guaranteed, which lifts the average annual value. But look, I think it's a good deal for him. I think it's smart for him to sign and, kind of get this settled before the season, just given that he has had some injuries over the last few years. And it gives him a little bit of insurance in case something goes wrong again. And, if he finishes the season with 1,300 yards again, he's not going to have, 14.5, 15 million waiting for him after the year. the flip side, if he would have bet on himself and went all the way, there might be 16 and a half waiting for him after the year. But, I think it makes sense for everybody to kind of get it done. And for the Saints, just post Breeze, he's going to be, a big help in just helping whoever that quarterback is. If it's Jameis Winston, it's another guy that knows the offense that people scheme for, that helps open things up and, maybe get you some easier reads. And if it's Taysom Hill and they're an option-based offense, having this running back like Alvin, all of a sudden his value becomes a lot more important to your team. So, just having another building block going forward, I think was a smart move for them.
Nick Underhill is our guest. Nick, Marcus Davenport will miss today's game. What do you rate the severity of this injury, and how will New Orleans replace him today?
I don't rate the severity very high. They do have this 3-week IR, so if he was expected to miss 3 weeks or more, he would already be on it. So that's a change this year. So just the lack of transaction there tells us that it's not a super serious injury. And he did practice the week before the game. Now he's back out. I think when we do see him, we'll see him with like a big J.J. Watt-like elbow brace. And look, the Clowney thing, I think it's fair to say it's connected to Davenport in some sense. I don't think they're disappointed with his talent, and I don't think they're mad at him for being hurt. His injuries have been legitimate, but there is, with him, there's just always something going on. There's always some management. And, next to him, Sheldon Rankins is another guy. There's always something going on. There's some management. So the pursuit of Clowney and the aggressiveness to try to get him, I think it is just tied to those two guys, and that there is just, somewhat of a level of frustration and maybe a little bit of concern, just so what's going to happen next. But, today I think we'll see, they brought up Marcus Hunt. I think you'll see him in the rotation. Trey Hendrickson is, another known guy. He'll be in there in a little bit. And, Carl Granderson, somebody who had a really good summer, and sometimes it's hard to know, guys that flash in these practices without pads, how much of it is true production and how much of it is just some guy trying much harder than the offensive lineman across from him. Ryan Ramczyk has nothing to prove, so he isn't going to go super hard when there aren't pads on. And maybe Granderson was. But, look, he flashed a lot there in the summer, and I think that, if he gets a chance to play, he'll make some more plays than he did last year.
Nick, 152,000 yards combined between the quarterbacks that are playing today. How good do you expect that position to be on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think Breeze is, who he is. I think his summer was really good. He looks healthy. I think the thumb is better. Down the stretch last year, I do think it was impacting him and his ability to throw the ball down the field. One of the big stories everybody talked about was, him and Tom House were talking about how he could throw the ball 60 yards. We didn't see a 60-yard throw. I don't expect to see a 60-yard throw, but I think, 35 to 45 yards, he can get it out there legitimately. And I think that's going to be a little bit of a change from last year. I covered the Patriots last year. Brady was fine there. I think he's at a point in his career where he's no longer somebody that's going to lift up everybody around him. And, I think Breeze is in the same place, and we see it with their moves. They spend more on Mike Thomas, Jared Cook, Emmanuel Sanders, whereas, 10 years ago, they weren't spending like that at the skill positions. And the reason for that is because Breeze is older, he needs help, and they're helping him age gracefully. Brady didn't quite have that in New England last year. They tried to bring in some guys, Antonio Brown, it didn't work out. They drafted N'Keal Harry in the first round. He didn't fit into the offense with Brady. So you got him thrown to Gunnar Olszewski and Jacoby Myers, and, things look bad. And he was under 60% the last 9 weeks of the season. But being in this offense with, Mike Evans, who is supposed to play, even though he was listed as doubtful at the end of the week, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, O.J. Howard, if he finally meets his potential. They got some weapons at running back that'll help take some pressure off the passing game. I think he's going to look better than he did last year. But, I just don't think either one of these guys are who they were a while ago, and they need the help, and they both have the help. So, yeah, I do think they're both going to look pretty good today, assuming Tampa Bay's on the same page with one another.
Nick Underhill is our guest. Nick, the Saints 1-4 in their last 5 openers, and it took a 58-yard field goal at the end last year for them to get the one win. I know Sean Payton has ruptured himself trying to figure out why they have been slow starters the last 5 seasons. And with this being a much different training camp, they were going to have to change some things up in their prep anyway. Much talk about why they've been a slow starter and what they've done to try and fix that?
It's been a mystery for forever. It's one of the weird things that have eluded this team, and especially the last couple of years. You would think that, they would have figured it out. Heading into 2017, like, it made sense. They had a very young defense. And the funny thing is, there's Brady in week 2 of that season, and they shredded that defense. And really, I mean, that was a point where you kind of felt like everything was going to fall apart. It was a promising summer that year. They come into that game, and, they got ripped by Minnesota the week before. The Patriots take them out again, and it just looked like that was the end, and it was collapsing. And then, suddenly it clicks and everything turns around. But yeah, these last couple of years, you would have thought they would have figured that out. The team's talented. It's a veteran team. You would think they would go out there and be able to hit the ground running. And look, that is going to be a big thing this week. And like you mentioned, that 58-yard field goal is the only reason that this isn't a massive storyline heading into week 1. But it's like, hey, it took a 58-yard field goal for them to win a game and kind of bury this talking point. So, yeah, I mean, look, coming against a team that's inexperienced, doesn't know how to play with one another, I think that kind of helps a little bit, but we're going to find out. I mean, this is all theory and on paper, and either they're ready to go or they aren't. I mean, it looks like they're rolling good in camp, but I mean, you never really know until you're out there.
Nick, you were covering the Patriots and Brady last season. You're as close to Peyton and the group who covers the beat down in New Orleans. If Breeze retires, what's the likelihood that Tom Brady's in New Orleans as a starting quarterback today?
I mean, yeah, look, there were those reports, and, this was something people were talking about all offseason. I think it was kind of one of the worst-kept secrets in New Orleans. Somebody apparently got the green light today to go ahead and report it. But, yeah, I think it's something that probably would have happened. And, the one thing, and I don't know this, I'm just speculating and talking here. The one thing I wonder is if you're Drew Brees, you hear Tom Brady's thinking about coming to take over your team and you're considering retiring, does that change your thinking? Like, if I'm Drew, I'm not letting this guy with 6 rings come in here and get number 7 with my team when I haven't been able to get number 2. I mean, that changes the way people talk about me. Right. So, I mean, it's a very interesting subplot, and the Saints have endless subplots, it seems like, a quarterback. It could be Patrick Mahomes. It could be Tom Brady. It's Drew Brees, and Drew Brees isn't a bad option. But, I mean, it is fascinating to think about all these different ways that things could have played out if some of these other guys had ended up on the team.
The website is neworleans.football. It is also the name of the podcast. Nick, thanks so much for joining us. Stay safe, enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you too, guys. Take it easy.
Hey, Nick.
Nick Underhill with neworleans.football. Getting ready to kick off the first full week of NFL football. Just a couple of minutes away. We'll come back, take a break. Back on the other side, Saints Game Day on Eagle 98.1.
Crawler Supply Company would like to thank you for your support over the years. We are happy to announce that we are officially your full-line New Holland agriculture dealer. Give us a call at 225-357-7515. Crawler Supply Company in New Holland, your partners in the agriculture industry.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Brought to you in part by Supreme Rice, supremerice.com, the perfect complement for any meal. You know, we're going over this afternoon. I do think there may be some jambalaya in the offing for the Saints game this afternoon. We always use Supreme Rice, whether it be the long grain, the brown rice, or our favorite, the jasmine rice. It's easy to get. You can pick it up at any of your local Walmart, Costco, any of your AG food dealers. Makes that food dollar go a little bit further, and delicious recipes available at supremerice.com. They got the roof open in Atlanta.
Yeah,
that's the irony does not escape me that we're watching, and I don't remember very many games where they had their roof open at the Mercedes-Benz. That was the roof that gave them all the problems when they opened the stadium at first. So they've got the roof open. Atlanta's got those hideous uniforms, and up in the corner there's a tropical storm warning for us. So
2020, baby. September of 2020. What
hey,
are
you coming to the Hester party? Hester's throwing a big New Year's Eve party. He's decided just to get rid of 2020.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm usually not a New Year's Eve guy. I'm in.
Any way to flush this season, any way to flush this year, I am all in on getting rid of 2020. But here comes football, and I didn't think that we would see the day, Charlie, in which we would be breaking down football in the fall. I know that the NFL has stayed pretty steadfast on their plan and their dates. And here they are getting going here with Todd Gurley catching a toss sweep on his first play as an Atlanta Falcon along the left side as Jamal Adams comes up from his safety position. So a couple of new faces on new teams making impacts early on.
I thought when I saw the uniforms for the Falcons, like, just the prototype, I thought they were ugly. But now that I'm seeing them in person, I've changed my mind. They're really ugly.
Yeah, they're really bad, right?
They're worse.
Looks like a high school football team out there.
They are worse.
I've always said that there is so much overthinking in these rebranding and changing the uniforms in these modern day. You look at Todd Gurley in the open field as he breaks close to midfield, but
looks healthy,
just goes retro. Just go retro. I mean, think if the Dolphins went retro. Think if the Falcons went retro with the red helmets and the white tops like Bartkowski would wear.
Hire whoever did the Chargers stuff.
They went retro.
Hire that firm and let them do it because they knocked it out of the park and everybody else. So we got a really good card here, I think, early. The college football card wasn't great this weekend, but we don't care. We're getting football. Packers-Vikings early. Nobody really knows what to make. You can kind of throw the NFC North into a hat. Cam Newton's debut against the Dolphins going on right now. Teddy Bridgewater's debut for the Panthers. That is a home game for the Panthers against the Raiders. The Browns are in Baltimore, probably the co-favorites, I would say, right behind the Chiefs in the AFC. So a little bit of a early test for Cleveland. And we were a little disappointed that they put the Bengal game up against the Saints game.
Yeah, you'll see.
Because we could have seen Burrow make his debut. But luckily, I will be somewhere where there are 2 screens.
Yes, there will be multiple televisions on in the Culotta household this afternoon. We will make sure and see every Saints snap along with Burrow. And we're going to talk a ton about New Orleans and Tampa Bay leading up. But, Charlie, what do you think about Burrow making his debut today?
Well, I've got a huge amount of confidence in him. I have no doubt that he will, number one, be prepared.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's anything that he could have done that he won't do. But I also expect that there will be early mistakes. He's a rookie quarterback. Peyton Manning threw 29 interceptions his rookie year, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. Tom Brady didn't even play his rookie year. So I don't expect him to go to the Pro Bowl. I don't expect that he will, have the type of season that he, you put up the numbers and you're like, wow, look at that. But I think he will have a good season, and I think he'll get better. Whatever you see today will be better in December. He's got reasonable weapons to work with. They've sort of revamped that offensive line. You get Jonah Williams back, who missed all of last season. That's like an extra first-round pick. Yep. I thought the biggest mistake that the Bengals made in the offseason was paying A.J. Green, because I don't think A.J. Green is A.J. Green anymore. I think he's been injured for most of the last 2 seasons. I would have probably put my money somewhere else. That's not how the Bengals operate. Now, if A.J. Green is back to what he used to be, then terrific for them. And I understand a veteran receiver having a calming effect on a rookie quarterback, but I wouldn't have put that much money into a 31-year-old receiver that had been injured the last 2 seasons.
It will be interesting to see Burrow humanized once again, right? Because we've seen him play so far and advanced above the competition for the past couple of, for really since the Texas A&M game, since November of 2018 is the last time you really seen him
on a
look
rookie
human.
quarterback. But
and he will be brought back down to life for sure in his first NFL start. He'll be going against one of his best friends across the line in Joey Bosa, who was just made the highest paid NFL defensive player in this offseason. He'll be coming off the edge, but like you said, he gets one of his tackles back in Jonah Williams, who is much like adding a first-round pick. I feel much like you. I saw the soundbite this week when he was asked whether or not he was nervous, and he popped right back. Have you ever known me to be nervous about anything? I love his confidence. I just like you imagine that he will be very much prepared. I don't think that this scene or the stage will be too big for him, but it will be interesting to see how he deals with a little bit of adversity once he steps under center as a professional.
Calming effect that there's no fans in the stands.
Maybe not for him.
Maybe not. Yeah,
not for him.
It would be for me.
It would be for sure as a rookie. I mean, if you take that element out, but I mean, to just watching him over the last couple of seasons, he's influenced so much by the ancillary parts of the games. You know what I mean? Like even if he gets hit, that almost kind of wakes him up to the degree like where he kind of likes. There's that great shot of him at the Alabama game of him running out. And everybody just kind of getting on him and starting to boo him. It was for the pregame while he's warming up. And he's mic'd up and you can hear him talking. Yeah, get it in right now. Get it in right now because we're coming at you for the next 4 hours. I mean, that's just kind of how he's wired. So it will be interesting to see his reaction after the game on what the crowd and not having fans in the stands meant to his first start.
Bengals and Chargers go at 3:05 today. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll hear from Drew Brees and also from Sean Payton as the games get going. Falcons get a field goal on their first drive. 4 minutes in, they lead Seattle 3-0. This is Saints Game Day on Eagle 98.1.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Don't put your life on the line. Do what the pros do. Call 811 before you dig. Wait for the site to be marked. And always, always dig with care. LA One Call.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, winner of 225 Magazine's 2020 Best Oysters in Baton Rouge. Are you a fan of grilled oysters? No problem. We've got you covered. Try the classic char grill,
Eagle
the
98.1
barbecue Nola, or the
WTGL
Thai chili oysters.
Baton
You more of a
Rouge.
baked oyster person? Got you covered 4 different ways. The Rockefeller, the Brie and Bacon, the Bienville, or the Crawfish au gratin. Jolie Pearl, voted Best Oysters in Baton Rouge by 225 Magazine. Located at North Boulevard in the heart of downtown.
Introducing Neighbors Free Cashback Checking. There's no monthly service charge, no minimum balance, and for every debit card purchase, we'll pay 5 cents to you and 5 cents to charity. Neighbors Federal Credit Union. We're here for you. Cashback offer applies to account holders enrolled in e-statements with direct deposits totaling $500 or more per month. Insured by NCUA.
When it comes to celebrating life's special moments, there is no better place to be than Rufino's. Whether it's the food we serve or the service we provide, our goal is always to ensure a remarkable experience for our guests that is always remembered. This is Rough and Rod Reed, and I want to thank all those who have trusted us with their special moments over the years. And we look forward to celebrating many more in the years to come. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Crawler Supply Company, your local Case construction dealer, would like to thank you for your support over the years. We have been a Case dealer since 1971 and continue to grow strong with the Case brand. As a certified diamond level Case dealer, we're able to bring you the best prices and product support in the industry. Try our new M-Series dozers and D-Series excavators. And don't forget to ask about the lease purchase program. 225-357-7515 or crawlersupply.com. Crawler Supply Company and Case, your partners in the construction industry.
So lie back on the couch, Ms. Bo Peep, and tell me what's got you stressed.
My sheep keep getting lost. I mean, they're in the meadow 1 minute, and I look down at a text, and then I don't know where to find them. And they keep doing it. Let me level with you, Doc. Sheep are not the smartest animals. Not you, Denise. You're the exception. Look, Doc, you ever try to have a conversation with a sheep? It's a little one-sided. They just look at you with this blank look on their faces. That and the whole getting lost thing has me at my wit's end.
I can't really help you with losing sheep, but I can tell you how to get a little peace of mind. Do like me and take your car into AGCO Automotive once a year for a general inspection. They check everything out and perform maintenance on what you need to keep your car running right, and it saves money in the long run.
Ooh, with the money I save, I could buy some shock collars to keep those little half-wits in one place. Denise, you know I wouldn't do that to you.
Get your own peace of mind and schedule your general inspection today at AGCO Automotive. AGCO, it's the place to go.
This is Saints Game Day with Charles Hanagriff and Jordy Culotta on Eagle 98.1.
I'll welcome you back in here to Saints Game Day. It's about 3 hours and 10 minutes. We'll take you up till 1:30, and we'll turn you over to the Saints official pregame show. Colts with the first big play of the day. Nyheim Hines, 88-yard touchdown run against Jacksonville to open the scoring down in Jacksonville. They lead at 7-0. The Falcons up 3-0 on Seattle. Seahawks with the ball for the first time. The LSU influence up there, Jordy. Now for Seattle, not just Jamal Adams over in the trade, but the two starting offensive linemen, Ethan Posick starting at center and Damian Lewis starting at right guard as a rookie.
We've heard Ed Ogeron constantly reference his conversations with Pete Carroll throughout the offseason, whether it was through coaching strategy or even talking about the things going on with social injustice and how he was dealing it with his team. He was talking about a long 3-hour conversation he had with Coach Carroll 2 weeks ago. This is a relationship that these guys talk multiple times a week, so I imagine that names like those come up all the time, and to see LSU now starting to have a big influence up in the Pacific Northwest with his roster is, it's easy to connect the dots there when you know what's going on down here in Baton Rouge.
I just love watching Damian Lewis as a guard. He does everything right. he was here for 2 years. I think he made one bad play in 2 years. I looked at it, I was like, man, that guy's going to be an offensive lineman for a dozen years in the league. I didn't know that he would necessarily start week one, which of course he is, but I was very confident in how well he was going to play at the next level.
Yeah, looking back to that 2018 recruiting class, I mean, if you remember all of the buzz and everybody talking about once you first saw those guys in the spring, he was an early enrollee, was about Damian Lewis. I mean, everybody was talking about Lewis and how good he was, and just 2 years later, he was Mr. Consistent. Looked up, an NFL draft pick, and here he is on opening day of his rookie season, starting on an offensive line on a team that has expectation to be a player in the NFC.
They're a playoff team, in my opinion, and they've got a drive going around midfield. This is about midway through quarter number 1. Drew Brees.
There you go, right there, Charlie. They're exploiting his athleticism, running on the screen, got Posick and Lewis out in front of him.
Drew Brees had this quote. I don't know that it surprised those that are in the industry. It may have surprised the casual fan, but this was Brees talking about, himself this season.
Hey, this time, man, I'm on borrowed time. I got nothing to lose. So I'm turning it loose and letting the chips fall where they may. I know that everything happens for a reason, and that in most cases, failure is the best teacher. That's the approach I've always taken. That's the approach this team has taken. And I feel like we've found a way to garner strength from each one of these moments from over the last few years. And it's only made us better, and it's only brought us closer to the ultimate prize.
He has done everything but announce his retirement. Right. Back when he signed that deal with NBC, and I don't know if he wanted that to get out and it did, or didn't want it to get out and it did, or if he didn't really care one way or the other, but he's already got his post-football life taken care of. He's already got his post-football business life taken care of. He's been setting that up for years. We've seen the stories about how he was going to retire after the Pro Bowl, which ultimately didn't happen. Now we're getting the Brady story on top of that. Then he says, I'm on borrowed time. Drew Brees doesn't talk like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think he wanted a farewell tour, and certainly now with COVID and all of the other things going on, trying to get games played when the protocols, he didn't want any of that. So short of him coming out and saying, hey, this is it, he's told you in so many words, this is it.
And I wondered when he made his comment on to Yahoo Finance early in the offseason if he revisited whether or not he wanted to step away from the game because
did he change
of the backlash.
his mind?
Yeah, I wondered if he did when the backlash came out around that comment because it felt like last season was going to be it for Brees, and the stories were coming out of Orlando down at the Pro Bowl that he was thinking about hanging it up and that it was going to be the last year. But now he's back, and to hear him make comments like that is very anti-Drew Brees. You just not come to see him make those types of comments around his career or about his preparation. But I think anybody from the outside looking in feels like it's definitely got to be close. Next year feels like it's probably off the table. So when you look at the roster, when you hear him speak like that, it's exciting to think about what this year could be. But I wonder how much different that is of his mentality the last couple of seasons, Charlie. I mean, it has felt like this has been a all-in tour really for the last 4 years when you talk about this Saints roster.
It does. And my thing is, hey, look, Drew Brees or no Drew Brees, they got to field a team next year. And frankly, a few of the contracts have bothered me a little bit. A little bit nerve-wracking as Seattle starting to go backwards here. But it is a historic day in that both starting quarterbacks are over the age of 40. First time that's ever happened in NFL history. Brees was asked if he thinks, hey, this is going to become more normal.
Well, that's part of the evolution of the game too, and science and our, I think, everyone's approach. I think every NFL team's approach to how you're training, how you're recovering, how you're caring for players, how we're training in the off season. All those things have been an evolution as well. And I think we're armed and equipped with a lot more information now than we ever have been. And so the ability to incorporate those things into what we do from a training and recovery perspective, I think allows us to stay in our prime longer. I've always used the term prolong your prime. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. Father Time's going to get us at some point, but we're trying to beat him out right now.
what do you think? Is this going to be something that is a normal thing? Quarterbacks playing into their 40s, are these two guys just outliers?
No, I think that this is something that we will begin to see more and more of. I don't think that it will become the norm, but I think with the emphasis of protecting that position within the sport, and then all of the science that we've seen to the training that goes into the physical training aspect of being an athlete these days, whether it be the nutrition, whether it be the science of working out, whether it be the trainers. I think that there is much more of an emphasis on keeping the body healthy and protecting that position in that sport. I think that is obviously the money maker. That is the draw. That is the interest that they pull from from the public is the quarterbacks. So there is a major push to keep that position healthy. So I don't think that you will see guys, I don't think that this will be the norm, but I don't think that these two guys are outliers by any means.
We see guys like Phillip Rivers is still playing and doesn't have to be. Ben Roethlisberger is still playing and doesn't have to be. Eli Manning could have hung it up a year before he did. But I was thinking during that clip about Josh McCown. Josh McCown is 41 years old and is the emergency quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. He lives in Texas. He is staying in Texas because of the expanded practice rosters and the rules have been relaxed to allow for potential COVID cases. They are allowing him to stay in Texas, attend meetings via Zoom, and trusting him to keep himself in good enough shape so if something happens to one of their guys, and they've got 3 quarterbacks on the roster, okay? Sudfeld and Jalen Hurts are 2 backup quarterbacks, so they've got 3. And they decided they wanted one insurance policy, but he's got kids in high school that he wants to watch play high school football. He's like, man, I don't know. Well, you can stay there. You know NFL offenses. You've been in the league for 20 years. You're fine. You just follow the meetings, and we're good. We'll pay you $12,000 a week, and if nobody gets hurt, you never have to leave your living room.
Golly.
I'm in.
Good Lord, sign me up, man. I mean, are there any openings? Didn't Philadelphia set him up a couple of years ago where he was a high school football coach and they allowed him to coach the playoffs, and then Carson Wentz got hurt and ended up starting a playoff game for him?
That sounds right.
I mean, this is a guy.
He's got a sweet deal, man.
Goodness. I mean, whether it's the agent or whether it's the setup, I mean, give him McCown's future for sure. But yes, I think that's kind of the feeling around the position, right?
There's so few people on the planet that can do it. And so really, you keep them around longer than you would have. You try to keep them healthy. You keep them moving. If Josh McCown, who has been a steady player but by no means a star, sure. We're not talking about Peyton Manning here or anything like that, and he's got this deal set up for him because why? Well, there's just not that many people that can. Yeah, trust is the word. Trust is the perfect word for this. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we will get you up to date. Early scoreboard here on Week 1 of the NFL. This is Saints Game Day on Eagle 98.1.
Hi, Alan Craig again for Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales.
Gulf Coast Bank. You may need cash when you least expect it. Why not let Gulf Coast Bank help you get started with a savings account today? Stop by one of their convenient branches, call a banker, or go online. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you. Member FDIC.
Hey, Gordy Rush for Monster Tree Service, featuring tree takedown and removal, pruning and trimming, cabling and bracing, lightning protection, and stump grinding. For a free estimate, go to ymonster.com. That's ymonster.com.
So lie back on the couch, Ms. Bo Peep, and tell me what's got you stressed.
My sheep keep getting lost. I mean, they're in the meadow 1 minute, and I look down at a text, and then I don't know where to find them. And they keep doing it. Let me level with you, Doc. Sheep are not the smartest animals. Not you, Denise. You're the exception. Look, Doc, you ever try to have a conversation with a sheep? It's a little one-sided. They just look at you with this blank look on their faces. That and the whole getting lost thing has me at my wit's end.
I can't really help you with losing sheep, but I can tell you how to get a little peace of mind. Do like me and take your car into AGCO Automotive once a year for a general inspection. They check everything out and perform maintenance on what you need to keep your car running right, and it saves money in the long run.
Ooh, with the money I save, I could buy some shock collars to keep those little half-wits in one place. Denise, you know I wouldn't do that to you.
Get your own peace of mind and schedule your general inspection today at Agco Automotive. Agco, it's the place to go.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Hey, it's Gordy Rush. I've told you Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is my bank. Their people, they know me by name. However, now that I consider the possible risk of personal contact, I'm using their digital and mobile technology. I can deposit checks, pay bills, and much more by phone. And if I do have a problem, I can call a banker Monday through Sunday until 9 o'clock and get a real person to help me. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you. Member FDIC. Message and data rates may apply.
If you owe back taxes, the IRS can show up at your home or office anytime unannounced and demand documents, money, or information. Hi, I'm Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm in Baton Rouge. You have legal rights when facing the IRS, so don't rely on some out-of-town company to protect you. The Bryson Law Firm is trained to protect your rights. The Taxpayers' Bill of Rights gives you the right to privacy, confidentiality, and the right of legal representation. And don't expect the IRS to inform you of your rights. So it's best to contact the Bryson Law Firm before the IRS shows up. But if you are surprised with a visit, call the Bryson Law Firm immediately. If you have an IRS problem, you have a legal problem, and you need an experienced tax attorney to protect you. The Bryson Law Firm provides a free, in-person, confidential consultation. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call us at 225-223-6714 or go to brysonlawfirm.com.
Crawler Supply Company would like to thank you for your support over the years. We are happy to announce that we are officially your full-line New Holland agriculture dealer. Give us a call at 225-357-7515. Crawler Supply Company in New Holland, your partners in the agriculture industry.
Saints Game Day. Game Day. All game long. Eagle 98.1.
Saints Game Day here on Eagle. Charles Hanagriff, Jordy, Culotta. We will be with you until 1:30 today. Saints and the Bucs at 3:25. You know what bad football teams do, Jordy?
Interfere on 3rd and 23?
They interfere on 3rd and 23, which is exactly what the Falcons did to prolong that Seattle drive that has put the Seahawks up 7-3 on Atlanta with a little under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's those things. It's those plays, all right? That drive is stopped. It's a long field goal. I mean, they probably make it, but it's a 4-point play. It's a 4-point play here early. And Seahawks-Falcons, get you caught up with what's going on around the league. The Bills have taken a early 7-0 lead on the Jets. Josh Allen, a 2-yard touchdown run to open the scoring there. The Lions get a field goal. They lead. All these are first quarter scores. Lions lead the Bears 3-0. Mitchell Trubisky starting for Chicago. How'd you feel if you were Chicago? You make this trade for Nick Foles, and Nick Foles can't beat out Mitch Trubisky, which is was your nightmare to start with.
I don't know if I'd ever be over that the fact that they took Trubisky over Mahomes or Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, did you enjoy watching Thursday night if you were a Bears fan?
Good Lord,
it's like,
man.
give me either one of these guys. Vikings lead the Packers 7-3. Dalvin Cook, who just signed a brand new contract, a little over $60 million, in for a touchdown to open the scoring there. Packers have come back with a field goal. Dolphins and Patriots are scoreless near the end of the first quarter. Cam Newton, 2 of 3 early for 35 yards. You weigh in on that? Is that going to work?
I think it might. I really do. I think that Cam Newton's got good football left in him. I think that there is much to the fact that he has not been healthy the past couple of seasons. And I believe in Josh McDaniels, the play caller, to a sense that he can build an offense around a talent like Newton and showcase what he does well. And I think he's got a really good arm. And if he's healthy, he's athletic enough to help you out and running the football from that position. So I think it work out. I think it does work out.
I think that for me, the deal would be, how's his foot? Mm-hmm. Because the first year he was out, it was the arm. But once he got that done, the arm was okay last year. It was the foot, and he had that plantar fasciitis, and he wasn't able to plant, and he was sailing everything. The arm strength was still there. That he came back from that okay, but his accuracy was diminished because it looked like that foot was bothering him, and mechanically he just didn't quite look right. If the foot's okay, and word is that he had a healthy training camp, I'm with you. I think he could. I think he could be very good. Carson Wentz. I'm sorry.
No, the question I have about a veteran quarterback, and you're about to get to the score, would be Aaron Rodgers. So I'd like to get your thoughts on when you get to that one. But
he's Vikings lead 7-3 late first quarter. My take is he's not Aaron Rodgers anymore. He's still a good quarterback, but is he a top 3 quarterback in the league? No. I mean, for the better part of 10 years, it was Brady, Manning, Breeze, Rodgers. That was the 4. There was a clear drop-off after that. And then Peyton retired. We know where Breeze and Brady are. They're no longer top 3 quarterbacks. They're still very good. Rodgers, kind of the same. We like to put them in, on the show, we like to put them in quadrants. First 8, second 8, third 8, fourth 8. I would have Aaron Rodgers somewhere in the middle of the second 8 right now. He's somewhere between, he's probably the 12th or 14th best quarterback in the league. Still play, but he was a superstar. He was a Hall of Fame. I don't think he's that good anymore. Eagles get a field goal. They lead Washington 10-0. Carson Wentz, an early touchdown pass there. Panthers have just scored Christian McCaffrey touchdown run to put them up 9-7 on the Raiders. Extra point to come there. Phillip Rivers having target practice with Jacksonville. Colts lead 7-0. He completed his first 5 passes for 95 yards. So when you're talking about 19 yards of completion, 5 for 5, they had a long touchdown run. They've got the ball back. Jaguars are going to be an atrocious football team this year. Ravens lead the Browns 10-0. Baker Mayfield has thrown an early interception. And let me see, we got the touchdown in that game. It was Mark Andrews, the tight end for Baltimore. So that's your early scoreboard. And if you are watching along on the basketball game, anybody watching basketball today? The NBA is going at noon. The Clippers are trying to close out Denver. It's 14-10, about halfway through the first quarter.
That should set up the All LA Western Conference Finals as the Lakers stamp their ticket back to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 9 years last night on the heels of another dominant performance by LeBron James. And here goes another touchdown for Seattle off the left side as they run a screen pass. And Russell Wilson connects with their running back to get in for another 6 points for Seattle to go up 13-3.
Yeah, the very first play that Seattle ran was a sack. Somebody came clean off the left side and hit Russell Wilson, dropped him for about a 10-yard loss. Then they had a holding penalty. They get 3rd and 23. That's, for 6 minutes of football, that's an awful lot. You overcome the sack and the holding penalty. Either one of those things usually kills a drive, and neither one of them did because the Falcons let them off the hook both times, and now they've got 2 touchdowns on the board here. Seattle's a good football team, and Atlanta's not.
Absolutely. You will be seeing the highlight of that screen pass touchdown for the second score of Seattle today. I'm trying to get you the name of the running back. Is that Michael Bennett that made that?
It wasn't Carson.
Was it Carson?
I thought it was Carson.
Was it Carson who made that touchdown? If you see it, he does not get touched on the screen pass, and Ethan Posick and Damian Lewis are out in front leading the way. There's actually more television coverage of Lewis than there is of Carson on the touchdown run because Lewis is just right in the middle of the screens to give you an idea of those guys making an impact up there from LSU on the offensive line. Charlie gave you the noon games and the scores coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Joe Burrow will make his NFL debut. The number 1 pick, Heisman Trophy winner out of LSU. Paul Brown Stadium will be the backdrop for Burrow's first game as the Los Angeles Chargers will make the track to Cincinnati. That'll be a 3:05 start for you at 3:25 from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Obviously, it'll be the Tampa Bay Bucs and the New Orleans Saints. You don't even have to change the dial. You can hear every play right here on Eagle 98.1. Same time the kickoff out west. And I don't know if this is going to happen out at Levi Stadium out in Santa Clara, California, due to the quality of air out on the West Coast with wildfires.
Those pictures, man.
The pictures are eerie. There is concern about the quality of the air out in the San Francisco area right now. NFL officials have said and had made a comment and gave updates that the game is scheduled to be played at 3:25 right now, but there is concerns about the quality of air right now around the Santa Clara, California area. Tonight, you will get your first look at SoFi Stadium. If you watched Hard Knocks, you saw the Chargers and Rams will debut their stadium from Inglewood, California tonight. The Dallas Cowboys will be in town for a Sunday night football game that will kick off at 7:20 Central Time. So that is your Sunday slate here coming up.
It was Chris Carson. He's caught four balls in the first quarter, 2 of them for touchdowns.
Wow.
Playing a PPR league?
Russell Wilson's 9 of 9. So if you're
and 1 3rd and 23 pass interference penalty. So if you got Chris Carson, you're probably winning your fantasy game here early. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll hear from Saints head coach Sean Payton when we return. Saints Game Day on Eagle 98.1.
Football season is finally here. Football! And at Red Stick Sports, it's time to get geared up. So get on out to the Red Stick Sports on Essen now and get properly fitted by their professional staff in all the latest style. Douglas, Wilson, Nike, Adidas, they have it all. And team pricing is always available. So come in and ask for Ryan, Dylan, Cody, or the legendary Mike Powers. They're all here to get you geared up the right way. On Essen Lane, Baton Rouge is Red Stick Sports.
GoFlow IV Spa is back with normal hours, open 7 days a week. Sit and relax while getting the booster cocktail, full of vitamin D, C, and zinc, making sure your immune system is ready to fight off anything. Boost up at GoFlow IV Spa. Find them on Facebook and book today.
Contacting your workers' comp carrier shouldn't be a painful process.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Please re-enter your policy number or say representative. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Representative.
Ugh. At Luba, we don't have robots answering our phones. We have humans, like Lisa.
Thank you for calling Luba Workers Comp. How may I help you?
Answering your call is just the first of many ways we set ourselves apart. Visit lubawc.com to experience the Luba difference.
Demco members, sign up today for Co-op Connections. This exclusive free program offers members incredible discounts on everyday expenses. Use the app or website to find local deals on dining and retail. Find national offers for family fun, business services, travel, tickets, insurance, and groceries. Live healthier with discounts on pharmacy, dental, and vision services. Even earn up to 20% cash back when shopping at over 2,000 online retailers. Sign up today at demco.org. Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
AccuTemp, your local AC and heating authority, now offers electrical services. Call AccuTemp for all your home comfort and electrical needs or chat online with us 24/7 at AccuTempBR.com. AccuTemp, service to the highest degree. Official AC and heating partner of LSU Athletics.
Excuse me, have you ever discussed life insurance?
Well... Sort of.
Have you talked about who'll pay the mortgage if one of you passes?
We definitely haven't talked about that.
Well, then you should talk to SelectQuote. SelectQuote shops for you, getting you quotes from some of the country's most trusted companies, finding you the right coverage with the right carrier at the right price in minutes.
Is it affordable?
Well, how affordable does $500,000 in coverage for as little as $1 a day sound?
That's great. We can afford that.
To get your free quote, call 1-800-982-3377 or go to SelectQuote.com today and get the protection they need at a price you can afford. That's 1-800-982-3377 or SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Get full details on example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Monthly premiums vary based on health, company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. We all like to express ourselves. That's what inspired you to modify an ordinary car and turn it into a customized ride. Why not do the same with Views Alto? Go to Views.com to customize our best vapor product yet with your choice of 7 bold colors, 3 smooth
Eagle
tastes, and 3 nicotine levels. It's your vape, your way. Views. Charge beyond. Underage sale prohibited. Website restricted to age 21 and over tobacco consumers.
A dream bathroom's not only real, it's possible during the Home Depot Days of Doing Bath event with new low prices on Moen and Pfister faucets. Vanities from as little as $159. Plus, get up to 40% off all online bath essentials, as well as free delivery for online vanities. So stop dreaming. Restore your space with savings on top brands at homedepot.com/bath. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Valid through September 27th, U.S. only.
This is Saints Game Day with Charles Hanagriff and Jordy Culotta on Eagle 98.1.
Back here on Saints Game Day. Eagle 98.1, Saints and the Bucs at 3:25. You know, the two quarterbacks obviously are the headliners here, but lost in maybe that story is the fact that these are two of the very best run defenses from a year ago in the NFL. In fact, Tampa was number one in the NFL in total rush defense a year ago. And the Saints have not allowed a 100-yard rusher in a single game since the 2017 season. Sean Payton talked about why Tampa is so tough to run on.
Look, it's a talented front, number one. And Todd does a great job with the scheme. And so when you mix a real good scheme and really talented players with a commitment to stopping the run, man, it is a challenge. And you know, a 3-yard gain, feels like a 50-yard run. So it's a heavy front, it's a strong front, and they've got a fantastic scheme.
We know one of the linebackers pretty well.
I was about to say, breakout year for Devin White?
Was last year breakout year? I mean, didn't you look at – I looked at him as one of the top 6 or 8 linebackers in the game a year ago. So
Especially through the last 8.
Yeah, I mean – top rush defense in the league, the guy playing linebacker has probably got a lot to do with that. So I thought he was that good a year ago. Again, I thought the story got lost. The story, if you watch Tampa last year, they bring Tampa on the Sports Center or whatever. What was the story? Jameis Winston turning the ball over.
Yeah, 30,
okay, the two great receivers, the prolific offense from a yards and point standpoint, but the turnovers. And you looked at again. I think Tampa's a playoff team this year because of that defense, because Brady will cut the turnovers. How many yards do you think Brady will throw for? Newton threw for 5,100 last year. How many do you think you throw for? Probably
4,700, 4,500.
Okay, I would have said probably closer to 4,000. And maybe you'll be right. I don't know. But he's not being brought in to juice things up.
Sure.
He's being brought in to not
stabilize.
Let this run defense set the tone. Put some points on the board. Don't turn it off. Don't put them in positions. If you got the number one rush defense in the league and your team finishes 7-9, imagine how many bad field positions they were put into a year ago. That's as much as anything what Brady is being brought in to fix. And now, if you had, I was about to go in again.
Atlanta.
That's Atlanta.
Russell Gage.
Oh, Russell Gage. I'm sorry, my eyes are playing tricks on me. Okay, Atlanta about to go in what's become a high-scoring affair here in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Review the last player taken for LSU in recruiting that you've got like a great future.
I mean, the list goes on.
Lloyd Cushenberry just named the starting center in Denver last week. Gage was the last one. This is now his third year in Atlanta. Foster Moreau was the last guy taken in recruiting, his second year with the Raiders. Justin Jefferson was the last guy taken. He is the number one pick of the Minnesota Vikings.
Deion Jones,
who's been in the league for 6 years now, I think.
Duke Riley.
I mean,
you keep going.
We keep looking at the wrong guys, man. We're looking at like the top of the ticket. Look at the last guy LSU takes. He'll probably end up in the NFL. Anyway, that's what we're that Tampa defense is going to be very, very tough. Sean Payton continued. Of course, the headlines are on Tampa's offense.
The important element as to Tampa on offense is how much of the old scheme will we see versus New England's offense. In other words, there'll be some, I'm sure, tinkering. Everybody during the offseason plays with new ideas, new concepts. So trying to measure what we're going to see relative to what we saw a year ago from Tampa offensively to, what their 2020 version is one of the challenges of playing a team like this early. Like, for instance, our offense or our defense or even their defense, there's some assumptions made, and clearly there'll be some changes. But I think when it comes to what Tampa's going to be like and what they're going to look like offensively, I think we understand the personnel and how talented they are, but the alignment and the schemes that they want to deploy and run with that personnel will be something that we've got to be ready to adjust to quickly.
You throw out last year's film of Tampa? No preseason game. Not that they would have showed much anyway, but what do you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you take away other than trying to get an update on personnel, but they know this group so well. You know, I mean, it almost feels like you got a grip on that. I would probably, from an Arian standpoint, you know how creative of a mind he is offensively. He's going to go with, in week one, especially without any preseason, things that are comfortable for Brady. I was hearing Anthony Kim, Anthony Lynn, I'm sorry, the head coach for the Los Angeles Chargers, talking about being able to scout. How's he scouting Burrow with no preseason? And he said, man, I've been watching a ton of LSU film, because you got to imagine that week one of a rookie's starting year or a rookie's starting, his career in week one, that they're going to go back to things that he's comfortable from. And so they've been watching a lot of LSU film. I'd imagine that the New Orleans Saints, Dennis Allen, and that crew are watching a lot of New England just to see what Brady was comfortable with in last season, because you think that that's what probably Arians would dig into.
I don't know how much you can take from that schematically, but certainly you get to know the player. So I get it from that standpoint. Falcons get in, very, very close play, but Todd Gurley gets in, and with the extra point, he used to watching a game in that stadium with the
roof open.
Yeah, they got the shadows and everything.
Kind of looks like Dallas.
Does a little bit. It does a little bit. Falcons trying to kick the extra point to get to 14-10. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more. We are, a little bit, about 2 hours and 45 minutes away from Saints and the Bucs. It's Saints Game Day on Eagle 98.1.
When you take the field in your 2020 GMC Yukon, running the bases around town is more rewarding than ever. Every detail of the 2020 Yukon SUV is designed with power and purpose. A real MVP with available magnetic ride control, which actively reads the road 1,000 times per second. And available second-row power release fold and tumble seats. But the excitement doesn't stop there. Yukon comes with GMC Pro-Grade protection for even more peace of mind. So drive home a winner with a great deal on a 2020 Yukon. Visit your Bayou GMC dealer.
Associated Grocers is hiring. You could be part of an established company that's been around for 70 plus years and consistently lands in the top 10 private companies in Baton Rouge. With competitive compensation and meaningful benefits, Associated Grocers offers a supportive work environment and opportunity for growth. They're looking for tractor-trailer drivers, order selectors, and have other warehouse opportunities. Guaranteed 40 hours a week plus potential overtime. Visit agbr.com and click on Now Hiring and become a supermarket hero today.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage is what keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. We've faced our share of hardship, and hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, our community, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again. You see the hope, the courage in the faces of our people. Those on the front line and those holding down the fort at home, we salute you all. We'll make it through the tough times. We always do. And Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana will always be here to support you.
Offices in Baton
I like a bed that's
Eagle
really
98.1
WTGL
softer than one.
Rest
easy.
The
Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
Can it really help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet.
Okay,
but can it help keep us asleep? It senses your movement, automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss the final days of our biggest sale of the year, where all beds are on sale. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Hello, I'm Jared Winston, Entergy lineman. At Entergy, we are monitoring the storm in the Gulf and are prepared, if needed, to get your power back on as quickly and safely as possible. Remember to always keep your distance from down or dangling power lines, and use caution when cleaning debris, as down lines can be hidden and deadly. For more safety information, download the free Entergy app and click on Storm Center, or go to EnergyStormCenter.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Whether they're falling from the trees or crunching under our feet, we're ready for all those colorful leaves and everything that comes with them. Bring on fall with Lowe's. Get inspired for the season with new harvest and Halloween decor, starting at $3.98. Then add a little color of your own to the front porch with 3-quart Hardy Mums, starting at $5.98. Find all things fall at Lowe's.com and enjoy smarter, easier curbside pickup through the Lowe's app. Selection and pricing vary by location. While supplies last, U.S. only. Mums in store only excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Saints Game Day, Eagle 98.1.
Yeah, I mean, look, we went through a stretch there that wasn't as good, but this is a division game. It's our chance to make our first impression, our first test, if you will, for both teams, and this practice week will be important for us.
They played better last year in the opener. As we welcome you back into Saints Game Day, Sean Payton talking about the slow starts. They played better, but they allowed a late touchdown. Deshaun Watson took Houston right down the field to give them the lead, and they left just enough time on the clock for New Orleans to get into position for Lutz to hit that 58-yarder. But the 4 games before that, they lost, and it was a lot of ugly football during that time. Jordy, the Fitzmagic game really kind of stuck out. It was a 48-point drubbing. It was a good Saints team. It was a 13-win Saints team. They give up 48 in the opener to Tampa Bay. The year before that 2-point conversion that the Raiders made, that was not a good Raiders team, and they came in and win in the Superdome. Minnesota, who's been a long time pain in the neck for the Saints, when they had to go start that game on Thursday night, that was Adrian Peterson, he was not really a factor in the game. The Saints got thumped in that game. And a game out at Arizona 4 years ago, which has nothing to do with today's game. We're just kind of pointing out a trend here that they didn't play particularly well against what wasn't a very good Arizona team. Today you're playing a good football team. I think you're playing a playoff football team today. Any of the slow starts get you in a bind.
I believe that this opener, not that years past has not, in particular has their attention. With no preseason and all the buildup around Brady and the Bucs. I mean, they've had helicopters flying over Brady's passing tree, in a Breck Park in Tampa over the past 4 months. I mean, people have seen. I was listening this morning to people talk about the feeling in Boston around Brady and whether or not that they would ever forgive him. And there was a Boston analyst saying that, look, you see Brady Buccaneers jerseys in Boston, people have become so used to seeing the practices and seeing him wear that helmet that people really won't be shocked today when you see him run out in a different uniform after 20 years in playing in New England. So I think that the Saints are much more focused on this opener than they have been just because of the matchup, just because of the weight of it. I mean, we played a graphic earlier this week, Charles, of the breakdown of afternoon games on Fox, and there's only 2 states that aren't showing the Saints and Bucs game, and that's Arizona and California because they're showing the Cardinals-San Francisco game. But everywhere else in the country today at 3:25 on Fox, if you're not invested into your local team, you've got New Orleans and Tampa Bay on your on your television. I mean, this feels like almost a Monday Night Football matchup or a prime time type matchup in which you have these 2 teams squaring off in Week 1 because of that and the history and experience on New Orleans roster. I think that they'll be zoned in. I think they'll be dialed in.
I was a little bit surprised this wasn't the opening Monday night.
I agree
that they would,
or at least Sunday night game tonight.
Yeah, that they would have put and I think what happened is the NFL Sunday night package on NBC had been getting the best games, and ESPN was feeling a little bit slighted that they weren't getting as good a group on Sunday night. But at some point, Fox and CBS stepped up and says, "Hey, We're
we
paying
get one?
We're paying money too. You can't have every big game on Sunday night. I mean, we have to have some of these games that are dialed back for us. So this was probably one of the ones. It's like you can't have. They're going to play twice. You can't have them both. Which one do you want?
Did you make of them putting both of these matchups within the first 8 weeks due to the fact that they want to make sure and get them both in?
Yes.
If something happens, I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. It's too good of a matchup, right?
Sure. This is the game that you want played. I was a little bit surprised, frankly, that the colleges didn't do a little bit of that as well. I mean, the first week of the SEC is not exactly littered with great matchups.
Ole Miss, Florida.
It's about the best.
Kentucky,
Auburn. I think that will actually be a pretty good game.
Me too.
But you didn't see LSU, Florida, or Alabama, Auburn, or anything like that. I mean, how weird would that have been if the Big Ten was voting today? I think.
And it seems like it's trending to get back onto the field.
In October. You wonder where Michigan and Ohio State's going to be.
Yeah.
And you wonder if any of those schools are going to opt out of the deal. So certainly keep an eye on that. That'll be another one of those storylines.
We're peeking to Seattle and Atlanta. We're keeping our eyes on that in Georgia. That's from the Mercedes-Benz Dome over there in Atlanta, and Seattle up 14-9 right now. But one thing is evident. We've got the volume down. Jamal Adams is making a huge impact early on in the Seattle defense as he has been flying off the edge, and they're using him in a ton of blitz packages, and he is all around the football, it seems like, every play. So his presence definitely being felt in his new team.
We think Pete Carroll can coach defensive backs.
Yes.
They've had a little bit of success there. I do believe with the secondary in Seattle.
He gave up a lot to get to Jamal.
It was a monster package. It really was. He forced his way out of New York. He didn't want any part of the Jets, and the Jets they're a bad franchise. They're getting beat 2 touchdowns again today. So I understand that, but I was surprised in the fact that he was under their control for at least 2 more years, if not 3.
And their best player.
Yeah, because they could have kept him on the rookie deal, and then they could have franchised him. So essentially, they could have locked him up for another 3 years. And his hands would have been tied. He had to make enough noise to move him out. And I give the Jets credit for one thing, which is that they were able to get value for him. Because if teams around the league had said, "Look, man, he's your problem. You'll end up having enough of him, and you'll trade him to us for less," or they wouldn't have cut him, but the price may have gone down. That didn't happen either.
You like Sam Darnold, the player?
I did.
So if they get the number 1 pick, would you take Jamar Chase?
Yeah.
If you're New York and you have Darnold.
If I had the number 1 pick and I was the Jets and I was sold on Sam Darnold, I'd trade the pick because Trevor Lawrence has tremendous value. If I could move down even
to 5 or 6,
2 spots, if 2, 3 spots, I could pick up another first-round pick to move down 2 spots. I loved Darnold at USC. I thought he was fantastic, and I thought he would be the number 1 pick in the draft that year, and he ended up going 3rd. But he's just been poisoned. I mean, that organization is just so bad that I don't know what to make of him. If Darnold had gone to Indianapolis instead, it stepped in that situation that Phillip Rivers is in. If Darnold had gone 2 years ago to Kansas City or Houston, or if Minnesota had drafted him, give me a good franchise. Don't send me to Cleveland. Don't send me to the Jets. Don't send me to Oakland.
Yeah.
Don't send me to Washington. That's why I was a little bit nervous about Burrow and the Bengals. An organization that is notorious for doing things on the cheap. Now they seem to have changed up a little bit since he's been there. So I don't know what to think of Darnold. If Darnold had been drafted by the Giants instead of the Jets, and he'd be where Daniel Jones is today, because I think Jones is going to have a very good season. I mean, it took a lot of heat for drafting him, but if you watch the second half of last season, he was very, very good. If Darnold and Jones swapped jerseys, they swapped teams, I feel a lot better about Sam. I always liked him as a player, but tough spot.
Very tough spot.
Tough spot up there.
Tough spot.
We'll come back with full scoreboard when we return. This is Saints Game Day on Eagle 98.1.
The farm provides us with many things, and it means many things. From crops to cattle, poultry, and timber, The farm is vital to our everyday lives. It's a place to enjoy the outdoors and where many traditions are born. Whatever the farm means to you, let First South Farm Credit finance it. We're ready to help you make your dream of land ownership or farming your own land a reality. Visit firstsouthland.com. Equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College here in Baton Rouge. You've heard our commercials over the years challenging you to become your best. ITI is family owned and operated and has been part of this community for over 40 years. ITI was founded on the principles of integrity, and we try our very best to instill that into our students each day. Come visit our 10-acre campus here on Airline Highway and let us evaluate your credits to determine if they will transfer here to ITI Technical College. Earn your Associates in Occupational Studies degree in over 8 different technologies, including our construction management program. You can also enroll in any of our 6 certification programs, and financial aid is available for those who qualify. ITI is accredited by the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. ITI Technical College. Begin your journey to a better life.
For more information about graduation rates, the median debt of students who completed the program, and other
Eagle
important information,
98.1,
please visit our website,
WGL,
www.iticollege.edu/disclosures.
Lentz, Louisiana Ear, Nose, Throat, and Sinus is now Lentz. 13 well-known specialists that have been serving this community for years have joined forces. We are your comprehensive ear, nose, and acute illness experts, featuring same-day office visits. Whether children or adults, if you're feeling under the weather, make an appointment today, and we will get you in and out of the office. Featuring 6 locations in the area, including St. Francisville, Zachary, and Denham Springs. Visit us online at lentzmedicalgroup.com. Lentz, L-E-N-T-S. We are your local ENT and experts in sinus surgery.
How do you choose the right attorney? I give you the answers at murphylawfirm.com. Don't allow insurance companies to take advantage of you. Make the right decision. Don't leave money on the table. Visit murphylawfirm.com or call me, attorney Peyton Murphy, at 928-8800. Main office, Baton Rouge.
Hi, this is Jordy Rush from my friends at Pods. Portable on-demand storage. On demand at
Eagle
your
98.1,
They're a Baton Rouge homegrown company. I know the owners
Baton
personally, and if you mention my name, they'll give you a 15% discount. That's pods.com, P-O-D-S.com.
The Sterling Automotive Group is all about service, selection, and savings. You can always find a great deal at one of the 10 locations throughout Acadiana. Shop 10 new car brands and over 2,000 new pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Locations in Lafayette, Broussard, Opelousas, Crowley, and Jennings. Online anytime. Save at sterling.com.
Clay Young here with John Conroy, the founder and owner of Pest Stop, your do-it-yourself pest control solution. So, John, people are complaining all over Louisiana about these fruit flies, gnats, whatever you want to call them, in their homes. They are a nuisance, but you can help people with that.
We really can. You know, most people forget the step of treating where they're breeding.
Okay.
You know, you can kill flies all day long or step on gnats or what have you, but
Right.
until you stop that life cycle, it's going to be a continuous battle.
Now, I have been in your store and have purchased what you need to kill them, and it works. What do people need?
You need a product to treat the drains.
Okay.
And that's something you have to do every night for like 5 days.
Okay.
In order to make sure you're breaking that life cycle. And then
Okay.
we give you the traps to kill the adults.
And folks, believe me, it works. So, John, in the Baton Rouge area, where can I get it?
Well, the Baton Rouge store is located at 806 O'Neill Lane. That's about a block south of Old Hammond Highway. Or if you have questions, just give us a call at 273-4788 because we can really help you with that.
It's a fact. They helped me, and they can certainly help you at Pest Stop on O'Neill Lane.
ACI Facility Support provides facility maintenance and construction services for hundreds of clients in South Louisiana. Visit ACI Facility Support today to find out why they are the preferred choice. One call can solve all of your building problems. Contact ACI Facility Support, 383-3434.
1, 2, 3. Saints football is only a few hours away. Charles and Jordy are getting you set. Saints Game Day, now on Eagle 98.1.
And we're moving through the second quarter of games. It started at noon here today, so let's get you up to date with what's going on as we get closer to Saints and the Bucs. Seahawks lead the Falcons 14-9. Todd Gurley has a touchdown run. Chris Carson has 2 touchdown catches for the Seahawks. Jordy, we've been watching this game. You've been watching the LSU guys in particular. The offensive linemen, both Ethan Posick and Damian Lewis got the start. They escorted Carson in, got a great pick on them escorting Carson to the end zone on one of those touchdowns. And Jamal Adams has certainly made his presence known so far.
Yeah, the picture on Twitter of Carson's touchdown kind of displays what we were talking about in real time when we were explaining that score for Seattle. Carson caught a screen pass off to the near sideline, and he was not touched from about 14 yards out, and in front of him was a caravan of offensive linemen led by Damian Lewis and Ethan Posick. There's a still shot of that where it looks like those guys are going through pregame warm-ups. Jamal Adams is all over the place. He just got his first sack as a Seattle Seahawk, but he has been rushing off the edge all afternoon and is going to have massive numbers once this thing goes final.
With 5 minutes to go in the first half, he's got 6 tackles, 4 solos, 2 assists, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a quarterback hurry.
There you go, Pete Carroll. There's your safety.
It's a pretty good.
Pay the guy, for God's sakes.
Pretty good 25 minutes of football for Jamal Adams. Bills lead the Jets 21-0. Josh Allen, if you got him in the fantasy league, you're a happy guy right now. 2 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown run. John Brown with 59 yards in receptions and a touchdown for Buffalo and the Jets.
Trey White, $55 million guaranteed earlier this week. What'd you make of that contract?
I loved it for him. You know, he had such a strong start to his career. I thought it was tremendous. I think he's earned that money, and good for him. If you ever meet Trey White, he's impossible not to like. And if you saw the videos about what he wanted to do with the money and help his family out, I mean, anything not to like about him?
No.
I'll tell you what did surprise me, though, is when we talk about the cornerback market being said, that Jalen Ramsey got that much more just a couple of days later. I don't know that there's a lot of difference between the two players. I thought that they would be more similar contracts, and Ramsey got paid a little bit more.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore probably watching with great interest.
So Stephon Gilmore, I was about to say, and Marshawn Lattimore both looking on with can't wait to get to the table.
Lions lead the Bears 6-3. Matthew Stafford, after missing the last half of last season, 7 for 15, 112 yards. Bears with the football back here, about 5 minutes to go to the break. The Packers lead the Vikings 8-7. There's a safety in there somewhere. Aaron Rodgers, 13 of 20, 114 yards early in that game. Packers with the football back, about 6 minutes to go to the break there. Patriots lead the Dolphins 7-3. Cam Newton has a touchdown run, 4 carries for 26 yards and a touchdown. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 8 of 12 for the Fish.
Devon Gottschall has 2 tackles for the Dolphins.
Eagles lead the Washington football team 17-0. Carson Wentz has thrown 2 touchdown passes for Philadelphia, so I guess McCown can stay in Texas for now, counting his money. Dallas Goedert with 3 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown for Philadelphia. Panthers lead the Raiders 12-10. Josh Jacobs, 56 yards and a touchdown on the ground for Las Vegas. Henry Ruggs, the rookie. Sometimes rookie receivers takes them a little time to get in. 3 catches for 55 yards.
Can't coach speed, Charlie.
No, he can definitely scoot. Colts lead the Jaguars 14-7. Phillip Rivers is thrown for 180 yards and a touchdown. Nyheim Hines led the game off. Hang on, that's not right.
DJ Shark with a
touchdown. Why'd they tell me that Nyheim Hines had gone 85 yards? That's not right, according to this anyway. All right, Phillip Rivers has got a touchdown. Hines has got a touchdown on the ground, but it was not 88 yards. It was 12 yards. I think we got the stat fixed now. Ravens lead the Browns 17-6. Lamar Jackson's got a touchdown pass, 139 yards in the first half. And I believe Patrick Queen is in the box score now.
Patrick Queen with his first sack as a rookie, getting his starting spot at the middle linebacking position up in Baltimore. A very well-respected spot within the NFL, and Patrick Queen already making his impact.
Jarvis Landry with 3 catches for 37 yards. They have only targeted Odell Beckham once in the first half in Baltimore.
Freddie Kitchens still calling plays?
No, he is not. Baker Mayfield, 8 of 15 for 64 yards and a touchdown and a pick. See, again, Darnold, Mayfield, send them to the Giants and give me another team that was drafting a quarterback. Even the Chargers, send them to the Giants and the Chargers. Yeah, send them to the the new Cardinals. Okay,
yeah.
Send them to the Giants and the Chargers, 2 stable organizations instead of the Browns and the Jets. And I feel completely different about their futures.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you talk about the stability of a franchise, and that matters, man. I mean, it matters very much into where you're drafted.
Ownership on down.
I will always go back to the Jamarcus Russell example. You know, I mean, I think that will forever. And Jamarcus is not a man that does not that goes without blame. But in that scenario, when you're coming out and you're going into a franchise, it matters on the stability of where you're going to land.
And what about Tyrann Mathieu? Okay, not a quarterback, but I think Tyrann would tell you Arizona was very good for me.
Bruce Arians.
Yeah, Bruce Arians. Patrick Peterson was very good for him. If he gets sent somewhere else, maybe it doesn't work out as well. I think that's you see it time and time again. You put guys in good position, and look, anybody can screw it up or anybody can succeed, but boy, the help that you get.
Watch this third down stop. 1-on-1, Julio Jones, Jamal Adams comes up, makes a tackle again in the open field. Adams on a big third down stop, earning his money, man.
Boy, and it looked like Julio was going to get away. And he had knocked him backwards, but it looked like Julio was going to keep his feet, and Adams reaches back and grabs him around the ankle and pulls him down. I'll be honest with you. And I love Adams as a player. I would not have traded 2 first-round picks for a safety.
Me either.
But
well, I mean, does it the handbook of football tell you not to do that?
It's a new handbook now, though. Yeah, forever it did. Absolutely. I mean, first-round draft choices are like gold.
Right.
If I'm going to trade 2, it's almost got to be a quarterback. That handbook is out the window now. And you watch here, does Adams look like he's worth that?
Oh, my God. And more.
In his first half?
And even look at the money that we've seen distributed to running backs this past week. I mean, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook inked deals on both the same day. Joe Mixon in Cincinnati gets a big deal. I mean, you look around the league, and it seems like the value and worth of the running back spot is starting to come back. Christian McCaffrey making $16 million a year.
What do you think of the Kamara deal?
I thought it was pricey.
I thought it was a little bit much.
I thought it was pricey for sure. I mean,
I thought he would be closer to
13.5.
I was going to say 12.5 actually. When the Mixon deal came out, I thought he would get Derrick Henry's contract. That $12.5 million a year, 4 years, half of it guaranteed. He did better than that. He did considerably better than that. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll do our last predictions on Saints and the Bucs, and we'll sing you to the Saints Network pregame show. This is Saints Game Day on Eagle 98.1.
At GMFS Mortgage, they've been changing lives for over 21 years. And because of what we've all been through, they've changed the way that they serve you as well, whether it's on the phone, on Zoom, or socially distancing in one of their many offices. That's right. They have a whole bunch of them all around Baton Rouge. Their local mortgage experts can help you buy, build, renovate, or refinance whichever way you are most comfortable with. Go to gmfsmortgage.com and take advantage of the historically low interest rates. That could change your life today. That's gmfsmortgage.com.
Smart decisions bring the biggest returns, like the 2020 GMC Sierra, built on a foundation of professional-grade engineering that brings a strong performance year after year, offering the world's first available multi-pro tailgate. This tailgate takes innovation to the next level with 6 distinct functions that let you load, unload, and access the cargo box quicker and easier. Test drive a 2020 GMC Sierra today and experience a wise investment that really delivers. Visit your Bayou GMC dealer.
This is Skip Bertman, and as a coach for over 50 years and the father of 4 daughters, we've had a lot of happiness and accumulated lots of stuff. Dependable Storage wants your stuff. Now open in Baton Rouge. Visit dependablestorage.com.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Here's Ray Stonemark with Don Seafood.
I would highly recommend ETEL for your business. They worry about the little guy, and they've provided me with excellent service.
ETEL Business, empowering your business to do more. Call 621-4100.
WCK Foundation Repair, locally owned and operated, has been in business over 25 years. Engineers agree WCK uses the best repair method for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. Rely on WCK to provide a solid standard with friendly local professionals. Interest-free financing available. WCK Foundation Repair.
WCK Foundation Repair. WCK, a leader among peers.
Rebel Graphics, where
decals,
banners,
signs, prints,
stamps, vehicle wraps, partnerships
matter. Rebel Graphics, where you matter. Rebel Graphics with an X.
So lie back on the couch, Ms. Bo Peep, and tell me what's got you stressed.
My sheep keep getting lost. I mean, they're in the meadow one minute, and I look down at a text, and then I don't know where to find them. And they keep doing it. Let me level with you, Doc. Sheep are not the smartest animals. Not you, Denise. You're the exception. Look, Doc, you ever try to have a conversation with a sheep? It's a little one-sided. They just look at you with this blank look on their faces. That and the whole getting lost thing has me at my wit's end.
I can't really help you with losing sheep, but I can tell you how to get a little peace of mind. Do like me and take your car into AGCO Automotive once a year for a general inspection. They check everything out and perform maintenance on what you need to keep your car running right, and it saves money in the long run.
Ooh, with the money I save, I could buy some shock collars to keep those little half-wits in one place. Denise, you know I wouldn't do that to you.
Get your own peace of mind and schedule your general inspection today at AGCO Automotive. AGCO, it's the place to go.
After a car accident, what matters is that you get back on the road safely while ensuring that you've been treated fairly by insurance companies. Complete Collision Center in Zachary and Baton Rouge will help. Don't let who you choose to repair your vehicle be your second accident. Choose CompleteCollision.com.
Saints Game Day.
Let's go now. You fired the first shot. Let's go.
Eagle 98.1.
Good ball game going on in Charlotte as the Raiders have just retaken the lead. I think that's 4 lead changes now, 17-12. The Raiders lead the Panthers. They're coming down inside the 2-minute warning now in Atlanta, 14-9. Seagulls lead the Falcons. All right, Jordy, we got a little bit of time here to kind of final thoughts as we go off for Saints and Bucs today. What do you think?
Well, first off, I can't believe we're here. I have had to remind myself a couple of times this weekend that we were actually in the middle of talking about football, breaking down football, and looking forward to weekend matchups that begin, Charlie, in the NFL with serving up Tom Brady and Drew Brees here right in New Orleans in an all-season that has been, so uncertain and so filled with so many questions. It is, first off, good to be here. And to see Brady and Brees have a chance to go at each other today at 40 years old inside a fanless Mercedes-Benz Superdome feels very much 2020, but I cannot wait for this matchup. When you start the conversation, obviously it all circles around these quarterbacks, but I think you did a great job in highlighting early on that the defenses on the field are very much going to be the storyline when you talk about these two groups coming in. We know about what the Saints have with DeMario Davis, with Cameron Jordan, with Marshawn Lattimore. You add Malcolm Jenkins. On the other side of the ball, Tampa Bay, the number one rush defense in the league last season, with their headline player been right out of LSU and Devin White. I can't wait to see the matchup of these two quarterbacks going against these two defenses because we regularly see it right in football that the defenses is usually a little bit more advanced than offenses are now. You usually don't have offenses that are being directed by Bruce Arians, Tom Brady, and Sean Payton and Drew Brees. So it will be something to see on how they handle Week 1 with so much of the offseason. But I would love to say that the Saints could rely on a home field advantage. There will be no dome field advantage today, so you're just looking at a square off of wits between these two coaches and these two quarterbacks. I do believe that New Orleans is standing at the end, but I think that this is going to be a slugfest, Charlie. Something like 27-24, 31-27, a close one that just feels close all day long.
And a game that's going to take a big effort from one of the quarterbacks because those run stats, I think, are so significant. Sometimes when you get these games that look like they're going to be shootouts, just throw the ball. It ends up being a team that runs the football better. Yep. And it may very well be that today as well, but it won't be a rushing attack that I would be surprised if either team got over 125 yards on the ground. I mean, maybe there'll be one run that's broken somewhere, but these are two top rush defenses for a reason. So I would be surprised. So it does have to fall to Brady and Brees. Maybe it comes down to one special teams play. Maybe Deontay Harris is the guy today. Maybe one. I don't think either one of us expects one of these teams to run away and hide. I mean, if either one of these teams wins this game by 2 touchdowns, that's not really what we're expecting, right? We're expecting a one-score game one way or the other. Maybe it's Harris that makes a play. Maybe it's a 60-yard punt return that sets them up at point-blank range. That's another way that this scenario could unfold today down in the Dome. It will be again just an eerie feeling to watch a game of this magnitude with nobody in the stands. I mean, we've seen Brady and Breeze go at it before in the Super Bowl season.
Monday night.
It was a Monday night game, and the Saints just pounded the Patriots that year.
That's that famous Kevin Falk bit, that video you always see where he catches that flat pass and they smash him right to the ground real quick.
Where Belichick basically he pulled a lot of his starters, including Brady, midway through the fourth quarter. He's like, we'll live to fight another day because it's not.
It ain't happening tonight.
No, I don't think it's going to come down to that. Going to come down to that tonight. So we'll see. What do you expected from Joe Burrow? Just some last thoughts on that game. It starts at 3.
I am looking forward to seeing Burrow make his debut. He just walked into to Paul Brown Field looking just swagged out. Man.
Has he been to the local haberdashery?
The man looks like he has found himself a good fitting suit, and he is walking in for his first NFL start today. I don't think, like I said at the beginning in the top of the broadcast, I do not believe that the stage is too big for Burrow. I think that he is going to be prepared to play. I do think that he is humanized a bit. We haven't seen him play human on a football field around here in over a year. So I think that today we will see that. But I believe that we will be able to witness the beginning of what is going to be a very successful professional career for Burrow. I expect him to succeed at the highest level just because of the pedigree that he comes from, the type of player that he is, the passion that he has for the sport, the way that he loves the game, and everything that goes into that. I mean, that the preparation and all of that kind of comes full circle today. So I expect him to succeed at the highest level, and I cannot wait to watch him. Just like I was watching the other night with Clyde. Just couldn't wait to see how he was going to respond. I feel the same way going into that 325 matchup for the Bengals and the Chargers.
Does it surprise you? Maybe it shouldn't, but it has a little bit. How invested the LSU fans are in the pro careers of the guys off of this team. And I say that not because LSU fans haven't pulled for the LSU guys in the NFL before, but they've had the number 1 pick before. They've had top 10 picks before. But I was out, we were downtown at Jolie Pearl to watch the game on Thursday night. Yeah. And when Clyde Edwards-Helaire scored the touchdown, the place exploded like it was an LSU touchdown. I mean, they seem more invested in these guys this year, I guess.
Yeah, Clyde, Clyde's a Baton Rouge guy.
True.
But I believe I agree with you on that, Charlie. That 2019 was so endearing to this state and to what they accomplished and the way that they represented the program, the university, and the state along the way. You really just couldn't have asked for anything more. I mean, I will, from even a media member standpoint, will miss covering that team. You just, But from a fan standpoint,
it's a dream
confidence.
Season.
Yeah, the confidence that goes into it. But I just think that everything that you saw last year, it was so endearing to the fan base that they never really want to let that go. They want to always continue to support these guys and watch them. I feel the same way about Justin Jefferson and having a chance to watch him play when we get home and see some of the highlights and how he looks to start his career. So
we picked up on it a little bit too. Did you see what Cade did? I mean, he's picked up Kansas City Chiefs games.
Right.
We've got the Bengals and the Chargers on our ESPN sister station 104.5 later this afternoon. So we're trying to feed the beast a little bit.
Yeah,
to get in with it. We're watching Atlanta try to put together a scoring drive here with under 30 seconds to go in the first half. They trail 14-9.
How do you think this thing plays out this afternoon?
I'll be honest with you. Given the Saints' struggles in openers, one time okay, 2 times okay.
Trendy?
It's 5 times, man. Five times in a row. Tom Brady, here's a stat for you, is an underdog in a regular season game for the first time in 75 games.
Wow.
Okay. 4.5 seasons worth since Brady's been an underdog. I would definitely take the 3.5 points with the Bucs if you're going for that. But from just a standpoint of who's going to win the game, I think this game comes down the same way the Texans game came down in the opener last year.
The kick?
Give me the quarter, whichever quarterback gets the ball last, and it comes down to a kick. And I say that even with the defense is as good as they are, especially the run defense as good as they are.
When I say Rob Gronkowski, what do you think about? Do you think Gronk 4 years ago, or do you think Gronk that sat out of football last year and has battled injury?
I think Gronk I think of the Gronk that was in the Super Bowl against the Rams, that he was not the Gronk that was the all-pro except when they really needed him. You know, I don't know. Let's say Tampa snaps the ball 60 times today, okay? Gronkowski might only be on the field for 20 of them, but I'll bet you those 20s are going to be the 3rd and 7s, the red zone plays, when Brady really needed him, when he really needed to make a play, he found Gronkowski, and I think that's what they're going to use him today. I would be surprised if Gronkowski went out there, and, you know, I like to look at the participation charts on Monday, see how many snaps guys get. If he's up there around 80, 85% of the snaps, I'd be shocked. I think it'll be probably closer to 50%, but it'll be the right 50%. That's always what Brady has done. When he needed to make a play, he went and found 87. That's where I would watch.
Kind of like how 9 looks for 13.
Yeah, well, 13's always open.
Is there going to be with Emmanuel Sanders? Do you see his reception rate's got to go down? Obviously, I mean, he set an NFL record last year for how many catches he made, but he is such a security blanket that, and he seems like he has that trait, Charlie, where he's almost uncoverable, in especially in big spots, big third. I mean, you cannot guard that slant, that third down short slant. I mean, it seems like as unguardable of a route in the NFL that exists.
I actually think that Thomas's stats are going to be very similar to what they were a year ago. Let's say he's down maybe 10 catches or something like that. But I think his numbers will be very similar to what they were a year ago. What I need, and I think Jared Cook's numbers will probably be very similar to what he had a year ago. What I need is Emmanuel Sanders to be better than Ted Ginn was last year. Ginn had 30 catches for 421 yards and 2 touchdowns a year ago. I need Sanders to double those numbers if the Saints are going to be a Super Bowl team. If Thomas does slightly less than what he did a year ago, and Cook does what he did a year ago, and Kamara does what he did a year ago, then the difference in the Saints is the number 2 receiver, the second wide receiver, and that's Emmanuel Sanders. And Ted Ginn's numbers were very pedestrian a year ago. I think that, Taysom Hill had 3 times as many touchdown catches as Ted Ginn. If Taysom Hill has 3 times as many touchdowns as Emmanuel Sanders, it's probably not going to be a good thing. I need Emmanuel Sanders to come in and catch 60 balls for 800 yards and 5 to 7 touchdowns. And if he does that, then I'll know that the Saints offense has probably been taken care of pretty well.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. One more round of the scores here before we turn you over to the Saints Radio Network. The Falcons are on. Where are they at, Jay? They're down 5.
14-9, second quarter right now.
Yeah, no. Where are they on the field? They're in the red zone, right?
Yep, they are. They are driving right now, and they were just looking at whether or not it was head to head from Jamal Adams to Russell Gage, and I think that's what they're looking at right now.
Tiger on Tiger hit. All right, Raiders lead the Panthers now 17-15 as Carolina has added a field goal. Teddy Bridgewater's thrown for 119 yards in that game. Christian McCaffrey has a touchdown run. Ravens extend their lead on the Browns 24-6. That game has gone to the break. About 30 seconds to the break at Ford Field. Bears and the Lions are tied at 6, but the Lions with a scoring opportunity. They're down on the 25-yard line going in. Packers have added a touchdown. They lead the Vikings now 15-8 with under 30 seconds to go in the first half there. The Bills lead the Jets 21-0, under 30 seconds to go to the first half, to go to halftime there. But the Jets do have an opportunity on the Buffalo 23. Patriots lead the Dolphins 7-3. Cam Newton has a touchdown run in that game. Colts lead the Jaguars, but Jacksonville showing some life now 17-14 Colts at the half. We said DJ Shark has a touchdown catch in that game. Eagles lead Washington 17-7 now as Washington gets a touchdown pass from Haskins, Dwayne Haskins, here at the end of the first half. And I think that's going to do it for us. Thanks to everybody for participating. For Paul O'Neill, our video producer, for Musso, our audio producer, for Jordy Culotta, I'm Charles Hanagriff saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Saints football as they kick off the 2020 season against the Bucs here on Eagle 98.1.
Countdown to kickoff, brought to you by Oakland Hart Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Houdat Nation. Your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Shell, the rhythm of Louisiana. First American Bank, a banking tradition since 1910. Acadian Ambulance, knowing life matters. Cox, bringing us closer. And by River Parish Disposal. Our business stinks, but it's picking up. The Bud Light Countdown, also brought to you by these local sponsors.
Eagle 98.1 is your home for New Orleans Saints football. In Condon Uncensored, the Baton Rouge Morning Show with Irish Channel attitude. Clock in and rock out with Chris Elliott and Rock at Work. Get your face rocked off in the afternoon with Michelle Southern.